Alright, when no one has gone before, first of all, most of you who know me know that I don't like the secret hideout version of Star Trek. It's not really a version of Star Trek because it obviously isn't Star Trek. It's a company that bought the right to call their product Star Trek, which is Michael Jackson bought the rights to the Beatles catalogs. Does that mean he could release a Beatles album? No. It's stupid. I mean, there's complete brain dead people who defend it that way, but obviously buying the rights to use a name doesn't mean you are properly doing the thing. I mean, everybody who is an artist is just face palming at that thought because American IP law is so backwards and stupid. Anyway, what I don't really support is that fandom menace type of stuff that people who aren't really fans of the show pretend to be fans of the show to make propaganda for some really stupid American political party. I don't really care about that. I don't care about a guy who has orange skin and orange hair, and I don't know why I would worship that. You have to be dropped on your head many times to worship something like that. I don't know. I don't care. So I don't really care about fake arguments against Star Trek Picard. So I'm open to real things. And in this episode of TNG, when I see Picard meet his mom, and I can buy it that it's like in Star Trek Picard, Fake Trek Picard season 2, that his mom died early, and that in this TNG episode, because of his reaction, that he hasn't seen her in decades and he just imagines her to be old. Like, that makes sense in how Patrick Stewart is acting in this episode. That he's completely surprised to see his mom in a way that she's probably been dead for decades. Like, that would actually make sense. Like, if Star Trek Picard Season 2 didn't suck so much, that would absolutely make sense continuity-wise. Like, my problem isn't that Star Trek, that Picard's mom dying early in Picard Season 2 is a continuity problem. My problem is just that Picard Season 2 is fucking terrible in every fucking way. Like, it's written by a 3-year-old who was, also dropped on the head several times as a kid. Yeah, Picard Season 2 is just really awful, but I don't see a continuity problem with Picard in this TNG episode seeing his mom as an old woman, because his reaction to her is like he hasn't seen her in decades. Like, that out of the way first. The other thing is first appearance of the Traveler, and it's like, recurring TNG character, even though there's, that bit about the character that if Seth MacFarlane ever did an actual Star Trek parody, like if he did like Star Trek the way he did Star Wars on Family Guy, then Herbert would play the Traveler. Because the way he looks at Wesley is a little bit questionable, to say the least. Oh, hello, little boy. Oh, why don't you put your sexy body next to mine? Like, yeah. He would actually, in a real Family Guy Star Trek parody, he'd be played by Herbert. Yeah, that's a bit dubious, to say the least. But, You know, Maurice Hurley, the underrated showrunner of the first 2 seasons, said this is the first episode where everything started to make sense, and I don't disagree with him. Like, the story works. The special effects, especially in the Blu-ray remasters, are actually pretty fucking cool. Like, if you haven't seen the Blu-ray remasters yet, that's some pretty fucking cool special effects. And the guy who plays Kozinski, he's really cool. I like him. He should have been a recurring character too. That was a pretty cool actor and a pretty cool character. They'll probably bring him back on Lower Decks. Why? They'll do it. I know they will do it. Why? But that's just Lower Decks. They bring back everything. Not in a way that actually fulfills any story need, just for bringing them back just for member berries. It's so annoying. What kind of time do we live in? But the other thing is that the story makes sense. All the characters actually make sense. Which, you know, is a first for TNG, because, you know, the previous episode was The Last Outpost, where everybody acted like complete morons. In this episode, everybody makes sense. Yeah, the one thing that still annoys me, and it's, you know, I've been watching a bit ahead, it keeps annoying me that they keep referring to Wesley as the boy. I don't know, that's not really, considering Gene Roddenberry was still in control of Star Trek at the time. It's like, wow, you create a universe where there's no personal conflict, but everybody is so fucking disrespectful to one character. You know, no matter how much I, as, you know, a lifelong Star Trek fan, don't like Wesley Crusher and Will Wheaton, but still, that's no reason to, you know, the boy, the boy, the boy. Like, I don't like Will Wheaton's acting, and I don't like Wesley Crusher's character arc, but that's not meant as disrespect. I just don't like the writing. But that no, the boy, like a high school bully. That's just, I don't know. That's just mean spirited and unnecessary for a show like that. But it's going to continue like that for most of season 1, unfortunately, which is one of the many annoying things of season 1. And there was one more thing I wanted to mention, which was something I do not remember. For the fucking life of me, I don't fucking remember. I mentioned the special effects. I mentioned the Traveler being Herbert. I mentioned the Kozinski actor being cool. I mentioned Will Wheaton sucking, but he always sucks. Yeah, no. Anything important I missed? Okay, the edge of the universe being 1 billion light years away is a bit scientifically nonsense. Other than that, they did the 300 years thing from the Kelvins in, I think the TOS episode was by any other name. Yeah, I don't think I'll remember if I had any extra point. There actually wasn't that much more to the episode. There was some guy playing violin, Mozart, of course. I say that with total certainty. I'm not actually entirely certain, but I'm pretty sure that was the Magic Flute by Mozart, which he played on the violin. If I'm wrong, mention it in the comment. I think that was the Magic Flute, but I'm not a classical music expert. But it sounded like the Magic Flute. There's a woman playing ballet, and there's a lot of really cool special effects. And other than that, yeah, no. Only thing worth mentioning is that the chief engineer seems to change every episode. But that was, TNG season 1. First there was that masculine woman. There was Singh, the Indian guy, but not yet. In the next episode. The next episode had an Indian guy. And in this episode it was the Argyle guy who appears several times, who apparently had a fan club at the time. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is. And of course, all the esoteric mumbo jumbo about space, time, and thought being the same thing. Which made sense to Picard and didn't make sense to the audience. Apparently it made sense to Maurice Hurley and the writers, but didn't make sense to the audience. Because that's just mumbo jumbo from esoteric meditation classes of where you can bend a spoon. I only know the German way to pronounce it because it's a guy from Switzerland, Uri Geller, the Switzerland spoon bending guy, who took a spoon and bends it with his mind. Apparently he's still alive. Whoever the fuck cares. But yeah, that's some mumbo jumbo. But it's the story of the traveler who, in a Family Guy parody, would obviously be played by Herbert because of the way he looked at Wesley. But yeah, overall, as Maurice Hurley said, this is an episode that everything kind of works together and it all makes sense. The special effects are really cool. The story is, no, not spectacular, but fine. It all works. It's all okay. For a season 1 TNG episode, it's fine. It's watchable. It's okay. It's nothing more to say. It's okay. Yeah, this lovely decision of mine to do every show in order to labor myself through the first seasons of some of the Star Trek shows, where the first seasons are not exactly the highlights. Yeah, so this episode here, it's okay. It's fine.